And we are recording, and we are not live yet, but we're getting there.
We're going to mute everybody out too. All right. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Big waves too. Woo! Get the arms going, get moving, get wiggling. Good to see you this morning on this Wednesday. I'm feeling good today.
Yeah.
I had a good night last night with some people that I love to death and got to go out to eat and have just some good relationship time. Always good to have face-to-face relationship time with people you care about. So
Right.
The word for today is overcome. And let me tell you, we just did this word.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Michelle's word. So we're going to jump into, now here's what we vowed to do. We're going to go through all the words and we're not leaving you out. So if the word doubled up, that means we got to double up our thought process. So I did it. I did my part today and really looked into overcoming, Michelle. So thanks for the word. Thanks for what it meant to you. And I come across this quote that says, strength doesn't come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you once thought you couldn't. Has anybody ever been scared to speak in front of people? Listen, I sure have. That was a big hang up for me. A lot of you know it. And I really can relate to this quote of strength doesn't come from what you can do. It comes from what you overcome and the things you once thought you couldn't. Because really, overcoming is the definition, succeed in dealing with the problem or difficulty. You end up succeeding in dealing with a difficult issue that you're facing. And we've all done that. Me and Coach has done it when we were coaches. We constantly were overcoming. But I got to deal with a different situation today. And I want to ask you a question, Vince Green. Have you ever had to overcome getting stuck in a rut? Man, I tell you what, the old rut's tough. And it's tough when you know you're in it. And it could be your health. It could be weight loss. It could be your business. It could be personal growth. But man, Anthony, as soon as you feel like you're out of the rut, the next day you get up and by 12 o'clock, you realize I'm back in the rut. I'm back in it. And it's a tough thing. You know, it's kind of like, and so where I really looked is I thought, you know, maybe you have goals, but you can't move out of the rut to reach them. And you're just stuck. I'm talking to you this morning because let me tell you, I go there a lot. I go there in my weight loss journey. I go there in my health. I go there in my personal relationships. I go there in my network marketing business all the time. Just being honest with you. And so I looked at like, what can get you unstuck when you're stuck? Well, first thing, I got to let go of the past. If you're a listener and you listen to people talk, do you hear people talk about the past? Like we're in network marketing, we share stories, right? And I always know if somebody's stuck because they can't get past the past. So they're always talking about the past. They're always talking about, and a lot of times you hear it like their shortcomings or their or what they're struggling and so they're letting the past be their voice for what they're airing out to the world. And it kind of goes back to that 7 Mondays. It's just not really attractive. Like nobody, you know, it's kind of like when you ask somebody, hey, Billy, how you doing today? And Billy says, well, I'm not doing good. You know, the guy's really thinking, person's really thinking, I just really need you to say I'm doing good. You know, I'm just doing good. I'm doing good. So you got to let go of the past. You got to forgive yourself or others and let go to get unstuck. It's just the first criteria. The second is you got to change your perspective. And when I say I'm talking about me. To gain a new perspective, I got to spend some alone time with myself and go, you know what? I'm going to listen to my inner voice. I'm going to listen to why I'm doing this. And I'm going to get inspired. I'm going to inspire myself with a little alone time, a little Brent talking to get out of this rut I'm in. And the quicker I can figure out I'm in a rut, the better. Number 3, I got to start with small changes. Small changes compounded over time. So if I get in a rut in my weight loss journey, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my alarm clock and start getting up early. I'm just going to start getting up early. That's the first step for me. And then I go to a little self-development time when I get up early. Then I get to the gym. And it's just little bitty changes compounded over time creates a difference. Same way in my business. Start with small changes. I'm going to reach out to somebody today because I hadn't been reaching out. Number 4, I'm going to explore my purpose. See, to me, my life purpose is not just my job. It's not responsibilities or just my goals. It's what makes me feel alive. Like I'm going to find the thing that makes me feel alive. The reason, and I'm going back to me, but the reason I found something I can retire into and not out of is because I want to live the rest of my life going to break bread with people like I did last night, laughing, cutting up, having fun. Really, that's when you really get in my business, that's what you do. If you want to grow a big team, you just do that all over the world, you know, and it's really fun. So my life, that's what makes me feel alive. And I want to experience more and more and more of that. Number 5, you got to believe in yourself and myself. Like we got to believe in ourselves. And the way to do that is I've got to look into and I got to realize the good that I'm doing. Like sometimes when I get in a rut, I got to look around and go, but look how far I've come. Look at the people, look at the relationships, look at what's happened. No, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not going to stop and I'm not going back. So all this today was something that really makes me look at it and go, these steps I just gave is ways, no matter what it is I'm trying to overcome or get out of that rut, I apply these and it's going to help me move forward. So Coach, I'll turn it to you. I'm sorry it took a little longer.
That's all right. Thank you. Thank you as always for sharing. You know, I'm going to jump right into mine this morning. And again, happy Wednesday, even though I tried to call it Thursday, but overcome. You know, that we can go in 9,000 different directions on this. And what I chose to do this morning is I'm going to share a little personal story with you guys to get started. You know, there was a time years ago, that a group of my buddies, some of my very best friends and myself, we decided that we were going to go celebrate. One of us had gotten a brand new job, one gotten a brand new boat. We were going to go to our favorite camping spot in Savannah, Tennessee. That's not far from you, Valeda. It's just a favorite little spot. It was right there, easy access for the boat. We just grew up there, sitting around the campfire, roasting marshmallows, hot dogs, all that kind of stuff. And on the way to the spot, right when we were about 1.5 miles away, we came upon a monstrous obstacle. There was a huge storm that came in that night before, trees all over the main road. And our main, you know, after the fact, we all talked about this. Our first reaction was, well, crap, we're just going to turn around, you know, and just go on back home. But then we started looking at the map, and this was our favorite spot. I mean, we wanted to celebrate our good friend and celebrate with them on what had happened good in their life. And so we figured out a way to get there. Now, it took us about an hour and a half longer than we anticipated, but we got there. And because it was our spot, it made it special. But that was an obstacle right there that we had to kind of figure out how to overcome it. you know, the situation was a reminder to me that in life, we encounter roadblocks, obstacles, and even setbacks in our everyday life. These obstacles potentially can prevent us from achieving our goals. And we know that. There's a big chance I think we have maybe close to 60 people on this call today, that some of us are going to encounter some obstacles in our day. And we got to figure out how to overcome that obstacle in order to move forward. You know, so do they seem to be a consistent part of your life? I mean, does it seem that stuff just pops up all the time and gets in the way of your goals? I think we could all say yes to that at some point. There are days that we feel that way. I know I've had several pop-ups, but this is just, honestly, let's just be real. It's a real part of life, and overcoming obstacles is a necessary skill in order for us to get down the road to success. You know, when we're faced with overcoming obstacles, here are just a few things to think about that I think you have to kind of prepare mentally for. You know, obstacles are only failures if they cause us to quit. They are only failures if they cause us to quit. Like in my story at the beginning of this of my talk, we could have just turned right around, went home, but we didn't. We figured out a way to reach our favorite place. We just didn't quit. You never quit if you want to overcome an obstacle, because there is a solution. It's just, unfortunately, and again, like Coach said, everything I'm saying, there's three fingers pointing back at me as I'm sharing with you. It's, you know, there's a way to get around it. There's a lesson in it. You just have to be willing to look hard enough. And sometimes, I'll be honest, I'm not. So, you know, here's a way to do it too. And this is not to be sounding like a pessimist mindset. You know, sometimes we just need to plan for the worst, but hope for the best. Have you ever tried to live that way? I think sometimes that's an easy way to live. And I'm not saying you dwell on anything negative. I just think you plan ahead and you always try to anticipate some things. And then if you have that happen, if you have an obstacle come across to you, it's a little bit more, you can get more acclimated to that. And it's more easy to overcome what that obstacle is if I've prepared myself mentally for that. You know, when we prepare for the worst, we remove the power of that bad situation and what it has over us. So when we're looking at overcoming obstacles, setbacks, and even disappointment, we have to remember that even if we don't achieve our goal, or it takes longer than expected, the simple act of trying is better than it was before. If we had not have tried, we wouldn't have gotten any better. So overcoming obstacles is a vital, vital part of our path to success. And I want to just close with this very briefly. I'm not going to read all the lyrics to you, but I challenge you to go to the lyrics. There's a lot of songs called Overcomer. I know that if you look at anything, you got all kinds of songs about it. The one that I always think is very, very powerful is the one by Mandisa, Mandisa. I want to share just the course of it, because we all know in order to overcome, the good Lord's got to be with us, and he's going to be with us. So we got to be willing to say we can overcome anything with his help. But just real quickly, it says, you're an overcomer. Stay in the fight until the final round. You're not going under, because God is holding you right now. You might be down for a moment, feeling like it's hopeless. That's when he reminds you that you're an overcomer. You're an overcomer. So thank you for the word today. And let's all try to overcome anything that comes our way and try to battle through it. And everybody have a tremendous Wednesday. Love you all. And if you're in our area tomorrow night, I'd like to invite you to my house. We're having a little gathering around the swimming pool. So everybody have a great day. I love y'all.
Valeda, it might be a road trip for you. Road trip. Have a great one. We love you. We're grateful for you. Happy Wednesday. Let's go get it today.